If you love a good, well-seasoned tomato choka, then stay tuned. This video is definitely for you. Firstly, of course, I am starting with freshly washed tomatoes, and I did line a very thin tray and put it on my stove to roast, and this is it roasting here, and I usually wait for it to get soft. These are some of my aromatics that I am going to put into my tomato choka. This is what my tomato starts looking like. I just sort of keep turning them from time to time so that they roast evenly. Once they have started to get soft and cooked, I then transfer them to a plate, and this is what they look like. I love the green pieces. To me, it adds a ton of flavor to your tomato choka, and I simply use a fork to mash it with. You can use a potato masher if you'd like, but I am using the back of the fork because it isn't much tomatoes that I am mashing here. And you just want to continue mash this until all of your tomatoes are completely mashed and squished down and they are soft to the texture. You will notice if you have any hard pieces that you could just go in and take your fork and continuously mash it until it becomes soft and very squishy. This is one of my all-time favorite dishes to have with sada bake. It's a favorite, and I was actually craving this, but I didn't have really much tomatoes to work with, so I simply worked with what I have, and let me tell you all, this was absolutely delicious. And this is not the traditional type of tomato choka, but this is tomato choka my way, and this is what it looks like after I have finished squishing it down. At this point you could add salt and pepper alone, but here's what I do. I'm grabbing my frying pan and I'm putting a little bit of oil, and I'm going to now saute my aromatics, and I love aromatics in my tomato choka, so this is just how I do it. I'm adding in the pimento and the onion to cook first and get very nice and tender, and I'm simply just gonna allow this to cook up for a little bit until it is nice and tender to the touch and to the taste, and you will see your onions start getting a bit more transparent, and once you have seen that, you would already know that your onions have started cooking and it is much softer than when you initially started. I also like to add seasoning to my tomato choka, and this is frozen seasoning that I did cut up and put in the freezer. It's simply chive, shadow benny, celery, and some more pimento. It is a mixture of seasonings, so I just like to add that in with my onions and my pimentos to cook up and release all of those beautiful, flavorful aromatics that is just going to amplify your tomato choka. Please don't knock this before you try it. You would never go back. Y'all should really get the smell of this alone. It is just so delicious and delightful to smell this here. Once your aromatics have started to sort of get softer, I then go in and add my tomatoes to the mixture. Of course, I did not have much tomatoes, but this was just ideal for me. I added in my tomatoes to the aromatics, and I'm just gonna give this a mix and allow this to flavor our tomato choka. By now your aromatics would be smelling up your kitchen, and yes, you can add garlic to this, but let me just say this, garlic was a bit too expensive in the market, so I opted out of it this time, but this dish usually has garlic in it as well. You can sometimes roast your garlic with your tomatoes, but I did not have garlic this time, so that is the only thing that I would say is missing from this dish. Here I'm also adding in salt. You can also add pepper to this. This goes wonderful with pepper. However, my children eat, so I'm not adding pepper. Then I just cover this and allow this to simmer for a bit, and y'all, oh my goodness, this is what it looks like when it was uncovered. Look at all of those tomato juices that were just released from that tomato choka. Yum! You can feel free to allow the juices to dry down a bit, but this was ideal for me. So of course I am going to pair this with some sada roti, and that recipe is also on my page. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to like and follow for more. Bye!